time on the last class, we did a couple of signs where we talked about, let me just see, where we talked about arresto beds, and we also discussed, hold on. Okay, so where we talked about arresto beds and we talked about different colors of signs. And we also mentioned which signs are found on highways and which signs are found on normal roads. So today we're doing something that's a bit more different. It shifts away from the colors, but it relates to the colors. It's just that this time it's still signs, but they are more on the tar road. They're called road markings. So the first road marking is a stop road marking. So mostly this type of a sign, this type of a road marking is paired with a road sign. So mostly the reason why they do this is that if in case the stop sign maybe it was hit by a car or it's not there for some reason, you could still use the road marking to know what to do when you get there. So the first one is a stop road marking. So what do you do when you get to stop road marking? You stop completely before the solid stop line, moving off only when it is safe to do so. So basically, if you see this type of a sign, this type of a road marking on the floor, mostly you recognize with this line. If it's a solid line like this, you know that it means that you need to stop and then check your surroundings, check if it's safe to do so, and you can continue if it's safe for you to continue. And then the next one is also a road marking. And then when you get to this road marking, you slow down and give way to cross traffic and pedestrians crossing or waiting to cross your path. Applies also at a railway crossing. So mostly this type of a sign, it's mostly paired with a yield sign. This type of road marking is mostly paired with a yield sign. So how do you know that this type of a sign will relate to a yield sign? If you check on the floor, there's a yield sign drawn here. So basically what this tells you to do is this. When you're driving and you get to this type of a road marking, you need to slow down and then check your surroundings. And then if there's people crossing the road, you need to give them a right of way. If there's cars that are crossing the road in front of you, you need to give them a right of way, meaning you need to yield for them. Even if it can be an animal driven cart, you need to still give them a right of way. Just welcoming other people in. Welcome to the class, guys. Okay, so we're talking about road markings. If you guys are not aware yet, we're talking about road markings. Okay, so we talked about this one. This type of a road marking relates to a yield sign. When you get to this type of a road marking, you need to yield and allow oncoming traffic to pass, allow pedestrians to pass. And then the next one, when you see this type of a road marking, you need to give way to any pedestrians on or about to enter the pedestrian crossing on your side of the road. So if you really check this properly, this side is where a car stops. This side is where a car stops. These lines here are for pedestrians. So meaning this is their road. When you find a pedestrian crossing this road, you need to stop and give them right of way. If you find that you are coming and a pedestrian is waiting here on the edge of the road, you need to give that pedestrian a right of way. You need to stop the car and allow them to cross the road because it's a pedestrian crossing. What could be a violation on a pedestrian crossing? One, you hit a pedestrian on a pedestrian crossing. That's a violation. Two, you find that you are fighting for a right of way with a pedestrian, where a pedestrian is walking here and you are here with a car. trying to force your way to cross. That could be a violation. And also another violation would be that you find that there's a pedestrian already crossing this road. Let's say the pedestrian crossed the road and then you are here. You're standing here and the pedestrian is somewhere here. And then you, on the other side, you decide to cross the road. Well, let's say pedestrian is on the line. That's also a violation. And another violation, remember from the rules of the road, if you overtake another car just before or on a pedestrian crossing, you are also in violation of the law. And you could be given a ticket. The reason for that is that you cannot overtake a car that's standing on a pedestrian crossing because that can pose a danger to pedestrians. The next one is also a pedestrian crossing. Some people call this a zebra crossing, but in actual paper form in what is it? The law is called a pedestrian crossing. So what do you do when you get to this? You do the same thing as the one on top. You give way to pedestrians, and you yield for pedestrians that are already there. Meaning, if the pedestrians are on the road, you give way. If the pedestrians wants to cross, you give way. Now here's the difference. You guys need to be fully aware of the difference. The difference between this one and this one, it's a very small difference. One, this one has a broken line. This one has a solid line. The difference is what you do when you get to this line. On this one, if you are driving and you find that there's pedestrian crossing, you need to give them, meaning you need to drive slowly, yield, and check as you're coming if there's any pedestrians on the road, and if there is, you need to give them a right of way. On this one, you need to drive, and when you get here, you need to stop and look if there's pedestrians. If there's nothing, you cross. Almost like a stop sign. You come driving, you stop, you check if there's pedestrians, if it's safe for you to cross without hitting any pedestrians, then you cross. This one, you're driving, as you're approaching, you're searching for pedestrians, they're nowhere to be found, you drive off. But they are both pedestrian crossings. Both of them. So if you get this one in your questions, it's a pedestrian crossing. You get this one, it's pedestrian crossing. If you get a question where they ask you the difference, that's the difference. The other one is a broken line, the other one is a solid line. Solid line, it means that you need to stop and look if it's safe for you to cross without hitting pedestrians. On this one, you need to check prior, and if it's safe, you proceed. It's like a yield. Okay, and the next road marking, it's two lanes going opposite directions, but they have a solid line in the middle. Meaning, one, no overtaking if you see a solid line. And then at the same time, you may not allow any side. Oh, just hold on for me. I think my charger was starting drama. Okay, so basically, number one, you're not allowed to overtake when you see this type of road marking. Number two, you're not allowed to cross to this side of the road, meaning you can only keep your lane, and you're not allowed to cross to this side of the lane because it's a solid line. And then the next one, is a double solid line. You may not allow any part of the vehicle to cross the line at any time. Meaning, if you're driving this side or you're driving this side, any part of your vehicle may not cross to this side. There are two solid lines. No part of your vehicle may cross to this side. The only time when your vehicle is allowed to cross to the other side is if the line is broken in the middle. So remember, broken lines, they allow you to overtake, they allow you to yield. solid lines, they restrict you from overtaking, they restrict you from passing right through. So remember, every time you see a solid line, you know that there's a restriction of crossing to the other side of the line. So just hold on. In this case, a solid line, it means you are restricted from crossing to this side unless it's safe for you to do so. On a stop sign, a solid line means you are restricted from passing through. You need to slow down, stop, and then check if it's safe for you to continue. But if it's broken, you are yielding, meaning you can drive slowly and view if it's safe to do so and continue driving without stopping. The only time when you're supposed to stop, it's when there's something that restricts you on the other side. One, it could be a pedestrian. Two, it could be another car crossing to the other side. So in this situation, a pedestrian will be restricting you from crossing or driving right through. Okay? Are you guys still with me? Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, I need you guys to pay close attention because road markings are they're a nightmare. They are a nightmare. They can be very confusing. The same as this one that I'm about to talk about. Okay, this one is called channelizing line between lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. Remember the difference between this one? How is it? Let me just move quick to it. This one and the other one. This one is two lanes moving in different directions. Now this one is two lanes moving in the same direction. Two lanes moving in the same direction. How do you know they're moving in the same direction? These small arrows are the ones that are telling you they're moving in the same direction. So it's called channelizing lines between lanes of traffic moving in the same directions. You may not allow any part of the vehicle to cross the line at any time. Meaning you're not allowed to overtake, you're not allowed to have your car crossing to the other side, not even to shift for an object that's this side. You are not allowed to cross this line. Okay, next one. You guys are familiar with this line. Mostly on a full road, there will be a yellow line on the outer edge of the road. A yellow left edge marking. You may not drive to the left of the yellow line, except when permitted to allow another vehicle to overtake. Remember from rules of the road, what we said? We said that between 6 and 6, meaning between sunset and sunrise, you are allowed to move away, to move to the outer edge of the road to allow another vehicle to overtake. If, number one, you can see any object in front of you for 150 meters. Two, if you moving to the yellow line does not end up putting you in a situation where you're going to hit another car or pedestrian. So the yellow line is there, it's on the outer edge. You are not allowed to cross it unless the following conditions apply. One, you're moving to the side of the road to allow another vehicle to overtake you. But that's with the condition that you can see 150 meters in front of you. Two, you have an emergency and you need to stop on the side of the road. Three, a situation that's unfortunate. Maybe you're involved in an accident and then you wanna move to the side of the road to stop. That's when you're allowed. That's if you have an emergency. That's when you're allowed to stop there. Excluding for those situations, you cannot drive on this lane. So meaning you cannot be busy overtaking people on the left, on the yellow side of the road, or doing any other funny thing. So the next one is the wide right edge marking. What are you allowed to do and what are you not allowed to do? You may not drive across to the right of the wide line. U-turns are not permitted on freeways over the wide edge line. So the difference is you find this yellow line on normal roads. This white line, you mostly find it on freeways. And when you see this line on a freeway, you know that no U-turns are allowed. And you cannot drive across this white line unless it's an emergency. And you need to do an emergency stop. Our next one, we are still on regulatory markings. Remember what are regulatory road markings is? Road markings that you find on a regular basis. You find them on most roads. You find them on literally 90% of the roads that are there. Number one, we have two lanes going separate directions, but they have solid lines in the middle, but they have different colors. When you see these types of solid lines on the floor of the road, you know that you may not drive or stop over the markings. You may not drive or stop over the markings. So the most simplest rule is this. If you see any solid line, you already know, number one, something is not permitted. Number two, they always speak about not allowed to stop. Number three, they always talk about you're not allowed to have a part of your car crossing to the other side of the road. So you need to keep those in mind. And then the next one, you may not drive or stop over the marking. This is a painted island. This, most of you will see this where you find that a road, either it's shifting from two lanes to one lane, or it's shifting from one lane to two lanes. You're gonna find that there's a island, or the road will be slightly shifting to the side, and then there'll be another road in the middle, allowing cars to turn left or right. So there'll be an island just after that turn. Remember the number one rule from the rules of the road, you are not allowed to stop on an island. So also on road markings, you're not allowed to stop on an island. And then also you're not allowed to drive over an island, even though people do it, but it's illegal. You're not allowed to drive over an island. Okay, number three is also a painted island, just in a different form, but it's a painted island. How do you know the difference between painted islands? They always have white lines and yellow lines in the middle. White lines around them and yellow lines in the middle. That's how you know there is a painted island. Same rule applies. You are not allowed to drive on the painted island. You're not allowed to stop on the painted island. Next one, this is a parking bay. Only you can only park in this area if it has these markings. If it's not marked like this, you cannot declare it as a parking bay. And then with you stopping on these lines, you're not allowed to go over to the sidewalk. So it only applies where these lines are drawn. So meaning even if you can come with your car and you see that, okay, my car is too fat, it cannot fit here, I'm gonna climb here. You're not allowed to do that. You can only park where these lines are marking. So if you park over to the sidewalk, your car is gonna be impounded because that's against the rules of the road. But if you parked within these lines, you are parked properly. And another thing to notice here is this. Because of this arrow, only cars that are going in this direction are allowed to park at this type of a parking. If you're going the opposite direction and they find you parked your car here facing the wrong way, you're getting a ticket, even though you are in the correct parking, even though you are in a parking bay, not the correct one, even though you are in a parking bay, you will get a ticket because your car is facing the wrong way. So side parking bays, your car needs to face the direction that the traffic is going. If it's facing against the oncoming traffic, you're getting a ticket. Okay, next one. These signs are used to control the actions of drivers and regulate the flow of traffic. So mostly you're gonna find that there's parkings, there's some surfaces that are marked with a certain parking. It would refer to either a class of vehicle or a type of vehicle. So if you see an A, you know that is an ambulance. You see a B, you know that it's a bus. T is a taxi. F is firefighting vehicle. Next one, you know that if you see a CD is a diplomatic vehicle, meaning parking or a section that is specifically allocated for diplomatic vehicles. What are diplomatic vehicles? Is vehicles from foreign countries or vehicles that belong to government officials. Minimum bus. This one it's MB, meaning minibuses. I said minimum bus. I don't know why, but it's minibuses. Minibuses, and then the next one it's a D, is Defense Force. P is police. SOS, we talked about it the last time, but we're talking about it on signs. Rickshaws. R is for rickshaws. Rickshaws, it's a vehicle that has two wheels and is drawn by a human being. L is for loading zone. Remember, guys, these signs, all these signs, all these road markings that I'm talking about, they are on the surface of the road. They're on the surface of the road. And then the next one, this is an exclusive parking bay. Remember what the A means? It means an ambulance. So the parking bay is reserved for exclusive use of the kind of vehicle indicated by the company symbol. In this case, it's an ambulance. This one, I'm sure everybody knows it. It's for disabled people. It's also an exclusive parking. If you are parked on a disabled parking, they're not necessarily going to give you a ticket, but yeah, you'll be an S for parking on a disabled parking because it's meant for disabled parking. Okay, the next one, it's mandatory direction errors. Remember what I said about mandatory? Mandatory direction errors. It means if you are on this lane, it forces you to turn left. If you're on this lane, you have an option, but you can either only go forward or left. On this one, you can only go straight. On this one, you can only go right or straight. This one, you can only go right. So basically, if you are on a lane that says you can only go right and you go left, you're looking for a ticket. They're gonna give you a ticket, they're gonna give you a big ticket. Okay, the next one, it's a lane reserved for buses only. No other type of vehicles may drive or stop or park in this lane. So if you see this type of a lane, remember from road signs, we said that if you see a broken line like this, it refers to a lane. And then if there is a class of vehicle on your left, it refers to the vehicle that's allowed to drive on this lane. In this case, it's a bus. So this lane is reserved only for buses. If you are any other class of vehicle, you're not allowed to drive on this lane. Okay, the next one is the same as the top, but this time they're talking about a tram. So it means that if you are operating or driving a tram, you are not allowed to be on this lane. Okay, I'm still moving. Can anybody tell me what does this one mean? We talked about it before. Can anybody tell me what it means? Guys, can
Um,
anybody tell me what it means?
it means that uh the chemicals, man, the cars that are driving chemicals, kind of working.
Yes, cars that are
Yeah,
carrying hazardous. Very
yeah.
good. Exactly. So this type of a sign, this one, it means this lane is reserved for cars that are driving chemical goods. Remember what I said earlier before the class could continue? I said that mostly road signs relate to road markings. Either they are put in as a pair or you'll find one alone. But mostly they'll be put in as a pair. The reason why they're put in as a pair is that if you miss the sign, you'll see the road marking. And if by any reason the sign is blocked or it was hit off the road marking will tell you what to do. Okay, as we continue, this one is a lane reserved for bicycles only. The next one, it's a box junction. You may not stop on this painted marking unless you're entering the road from the side to turn left or right. So, meaning if you are driving, you cannot stop here unless you're entering the road from the side to turn left or right. Are you guys with me? Do you guys understand it?
Yes.
Yes. So it's you may not stop on this painted marking, unless you're entering the road from the side to turn left or right. So meaning if you're driving straight, you cannot stop here. But if you are turning left, you're entering the road from this side, and you're turning left or right. Am I correct? Am I correct?
So if you drive straight, you are not allowed to stop. But if you come from the side, then yes.
Yeah. So you guys understand this because this thing, the reason why I'm posting on this thing is because it's in a lot of question papers. Literally every time when they sample, this one is always there.
Um, so tell me, are you allowed to pass on that box to go straight?
Yes, you're allowed to pass on this box to go straight, but you're not allowed to stop on it.
All right, all right.
Okay, let me give you guys a scenario. Mostly this type of roads they're put like this. Let's say somewhere here there's a robot or a stop sign, and then the cars moving from this direction, they get to the robot, they stop. They stop. It's a lot of cars. They stop. They all stop. But then when it gets to here, you guys need to give space. Meaning here, no cars should stop. Meaning you can only stop after this block to allow the cars that are turning either right or left that are entering from the side. So the reason why they put this is to allow cars that are entering from this side to be able to have a way in. Because if all the cars are always stopping here, they will never get a chance to go in. That is why they say that you are not allowed to stop on the yellow box junction. The reason why it's called a box junction because it's mostly put at junctions. It can be a T junction, could be a Y, but it's mostly put on a junction to allow the traffic that's entering the road to have a right of way. So are you guys clear on this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So on the ones that I know that they're interesting, I'm gonna keep posting on them and then try to emphasize them because the other ones are very easy. Like this one, you know that it's a lane specifically allocated for trams and no other vehicle is allowed to stop or park or drive on this lane. Next one, it says that it's a no stopping solid red line. It says you may not stop on or next to this red line at any time. Is it at night? Is it during the day? Is it whenever? You are not allowed to stop if you see a red line. You are not allowed to stop here. Okay, next one. It's a no stopping broken line. You may not stop here during the time indicated on the accompanying road sign. So the reason why it will be a no stopping broken line, but mostly it will be accompanied by a road sign. On the road sign, they will write no stopping, and then under it, you find the road from 6 to this time. So you know that from 6 to the time that they mentioned, no stopping. But after the time that they mentioned that you're not allowed to stop, you're allowed to stop on this. That's the reason why it's broken, because it's conditional. But if it's a completely solid red line, you're not allowed to stop on it at all. But if it's broken, then you're allowed to stop on it at a specific time that's mentioned on the sign. Okay, next one. It's a no parking solid yellow line. You may not park on or next to this yellow line at any time. Remember, red, it means it's a no stopping line. Yellow, it's a no parking solid yellow line. Remember, red, it's no stopping. Like, you guys need to remember these colors are very important. Red is a no stopping. Yellow solid line is a no parking. Okay, and then we'll continue. And then the next one, it's a no parking yellow line, a no parking broken yellow line. And mostly it will be accompanied by a road sign, meaning between a certain time to a certain time, you are not allowed to park on this area. But between a certain time to a certain time, you are allowed to park. So mostly it will be accompanied by a road sign. Next one is a motorcycle, is a no motorcycles sign, meaning no motorcycles may proceed beyond this point. Once you're driving a motorcycle and you see this type of a sign, you know that you're not allowed to proceed beyond the sign because no motorcycles are allowed. Next one, remember we kept repeating this one. It's a mini traffic circle, and it's telling you that when you enter the traffic circle, you need to enter from left to right or in a clockwise direction. And because it has it's broken lines here, it's telling you that you need to give way to the vehicle that's already inside the circle. So meaning if you're standing here and a vehicle is driving here and you want to enter, you need to first wait and give way to this vehicle to exit, then you may enter or to continue. It can be to exit or to continue. Then you may enter. Next one, the parking bay is reserved for disabled people. No other vehicle may park there. Remember, you wouldn't exactly get a ticket in some towns, but it's not fair for a person who's able to park in a disabled parking. Next one is also an exclusive lane Simple, meaning that this lane is exclusively reserved for bicycles. Our next one is also an exclusive lane reserved for buses. Next one, exclusive lane reserved for trams. Another exclusive lane reserved for disabled people. If you are able, you are an S for driving on this lane. Next one is a lane that is exclusive for vehicles. You guys know vehicles that have a high occupancy, meaning they're carrying dangerous goods. Could be diesel, could be petrol, could be gas, could be something else. Okay, the next one is a railway crossing ahead. If you see this type of a line on the floor, you know that in front or ahead, there will be a railway crossing the road that you're currently on. Next one, it's a broken line of two lanes going the same direction, and there's a broken line. The roadway to the left of the thick marking discontinues straight ahead. The gaps become progressively shorter as the line continues. It's called a continuity line. Okay, the next one. These are called lane lines. Short, thin lines to separate lanes of traffic moving in the direction of the arrows. When you see this type of a line, a broken line like this, you're allowed to overtake and you are allowed to cross to the other side of the road. Meaning you could be driving, you can decide, I don't want to drive on this lane, I want to drive to the left side of the lane. You go to the left side and start driving on the lane on the left. Next one is a driving line. Longer, thinner lines to warn that vehicles on the other side of the line are traveling towards you. The gaps may be shorter or longer. The gaps may be shorter or longer. It's just telling you that the vehicles on the other lane are driving towards you, meaning they're going the opposite direction of you. Next one, reversible lane double lines. Warns you that the lane with the double arrow is used by oncoming traffic during specific periods. Next one is mandatory direction arrows. Remember we talked about it earlier, just that earlier they were yellow, now they are white. These mean that if you are in a specific lane, you need to go in that lane. They are forcing you to go in the lane that you chose. If you are on the left lane, you know that you are forced to turn left. If you're on this lane, you can either go straight or left and no other direction. If you're on this lane, you can only go straight. If you're on this lane, you can only go straight or right. The next one is a no overtaking or crossing lines ahead. This one warns you that you are not permitted to cross the solid line ahead and do not attempt to overtake. So you know that when you see this line, this road marking, you're not allowed to overtake. And in front of it is also telling you that there's a solid line that also does not permit you to overtake. This one is telling you that the end of an exclusive lane, it warns you that the exclusive lane ends here. Okay? Meaning our exclusive lane, remember, exclusive lane, if they said that this lane is exclusively for rickshaws, you know that the moment when you see this, it means that you are allowed to use this lane now. It's no longer only reserved for rickshaws. Next one also is the end of an exclusive lane. Same thing, if this lane was reserved for either buses or specific class of vehicle, it now ends. You are allowed to cross to the other side. These ones are called flirtation arrows. They indicate to you that there is an increase in the number of lanes ahead in that direction that you're going. It means in front is telling you that there will be 2 lanes or the number will increase. The number of lanes will increase in front. This one is direction of travel indicator. That one is an obvious one. The next one is cyclist crossing. Cyclist crossing, the road at the place indicated by the broken lines, meaning this part here, where there's broken lines, is cyclist crossing. This part here. Remember, if it's a solid line here, it means you need to stop and check if there's no cyclist around you, and then after, drive or continue on your trip. Next one is the yield sign ahead. Is mostly paired with a yield sign. Next one, it's okay. Just hold on. My things got on top of each other. Okay. I see here, put a wrong word. Okay, this one is talking about emergency stopping, arrest obeyed ahead. So, what is an arrest obeyed? An arrest obeyed is mostly road markings that are put either on the side of the road or on a specific part of the road, which will help you to stop in case of an emergency. For example, let's say it's a downhill, and then on the side you find that it's an arresto bed. That arresto bed will be sloped differently. So let's say you're driving downhill and your brakes are failing. You can easily turn to the arresto bed because the slope is different. You'll be able to stop your car. That's what arresto beds are for. And you can only stop there for emergency purposes. And then the next one is a speed hump marking. Remember those lines that they draw on a speed hump? Those are called speed bump markings. And the next ones, you guys are familiar with these ones. They're called keeping. And then they're mostly put on sidewalks. It's just to warn you that there is a sidewalk and you shouldn't drive over. Next one. You know that once you see this type of a sign, you know that this area is mostly used by cyclists. So if you're driving in that area, you need to give your respect to the cyclist and give them way or drive safely around them. Next one, it's a sign that gives you extra guidance. It's telling you that there could be an airport near. Next one, another one, it's telling you that you need to give road users that are handicapped respect. It also gives you that extra guidance. If you don't give special respect to disabled people, you are an S. And then the next one is also a sign that also gives you an extra guidance. It's telling you that that area or that part of the road, there is vehicles that are carrying high occupancy, meaning dangerous goods. Next one is a stop sign. Next one is telling you that the area that you're passing at, there's a school. You need to adjust your speed, slow down, and be careful as you're driving and respect school kids. when you're in that area. Okay, so basically, road markings is not a very long chapter, and that's everything that relates to road markings. So, do you guys have any questions relating to road markings? You guys have any questions?
On my side, no, sir.
Okay, so meaning I can ask the questions now. Okay, just hold on. When there's no questions, meaning it's my turn to ask questions. I'm just opening the questions. Then we will continue. Okay, there we go. Let's share the screen. So road markings are not very difficult. The most important thing to remember about them is that if you see a solid line, you know that it's an immediate restriction. If you see a broken line, it means that certain actions are allowed. If you see a yellow solid line, you know that it's a no parking line. If you see a red solid line, you know that it's a no stopping line. But if these lines are broken, it means there's a condition now. It means between a certain time and a certain time, this is allowed. Between a certain time and this a certain time, this is not allowed. Okay, jumping onto the questions. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, without me reading the question, just by looking at the road marking, what do you guys see? What does it say?
It's ambulance sign.
Exactly. So meaning either a parking bay or a road thing, or what is it, an area of the road, it's specifically allocated for ambulances only. So the question says, you see a road marking reserved with a special symbol for ambulances. What does this marking indicate? Number A, any emergency vehicles may park here. Number B, only ambulances may park in this bay. Number C, this is a waiting area for patients or visitors. Which one is the correct one?
B.
Very correct. Number B is correct. And then the next one, they're saying that under which of the following conditions are you allowed to overtake another vehicle on the left on a public road? Remember from rules of the road. Number one, number A, when the vehicle in front is turning right and there is space on the left. Number B, when traffic is heavy and you want to save time. Number C, on a single lane road at night if no other vehicle are coming. Which one is the correct answer? Number A, B, or C?
A.
Number A, very correct. When the vehicle in front is turning right, there is space on the left. Very correct. The reason why number B is incorrect is when traffic is heavy and you want to save time, you're not allowed to overtake any vehicle on the left unless it's more than one lane. But if we're talking about a single lane, you are not allowed to overtake a vehicle on the left. Remember, if it's 2 lanes or 3 lanes going the same direction, when you're overtaking, you're just basically switching lanes. You can switch lanes to the left and still drive. Number C, on a single lane road at night, if no other vehicles are coming. That's also incorrect. That's also incorrect. Okay, the next one. You see a lane reserved for buses, public transport. Which of the following statement is correct? Number A, any vehicle may use the lane if traffic is heavy. Number B, only buses and vehicles carrying at least 3 passengers may use the lane. Number C, only buses and authorized public transport vehicles may use this lane. Which one is correct?
Number C.
Okay, why number C? Why number C? Okay, remember what we said from the signs. We said that, okay, if you see this yellow broken line, any vehicle or class of vehicle that's put on the side, it means that the specific lane is reserved for this class of vehicle. So now number A says any vehicle may use the lane if the traffic is heavy. Remember, specific class. So number A is wrong. Number B, only buses and vehicles carrying at least passengers. Remember the class of vehicle. The class of vehicle is a bus. Number C says only buses and authorized public transport. Remember, only buses.
Tukikitano ka mo siya eh.
Okay, remember only buses and authorized public transport. Remember, this lane is reserved for the class of vehicle. So meaning the only authorized vehicle to use this lane is a bus. Here they're saying authorized public transport. Only buses and authorized public transport. The authorized public transport is a bus because it's the only one that's authorized to use this lane. So number C is correct. Are you guys clear?
Yes.
Okay, jumping to the
Yeah,
next
but-
one. When approaching a pedestrian crossing, zebra crossing. Remember, zebra crossing is the one of the lines. It's also pedestrian crossing. Which of the following statement is correct? Number A, you may overtake another vehicle, stopping at the crossing if no pedestrians are visible. Number B, you must stop and give way to pedestrians on the crossing, regardless of whether the other vehicles have stopped. Number C, you may speed up to pass the crossing quickly if pedestrians are far away. Which one is correct?
Number B.
Why number B?
Because if you see the zebra or you see a zebra crossing, you are not allowed to overtake. You must give a pedestrian a right of way.
Very correct. Very, very correct. Number A, you are not allowed to overtake. It's wrong. Number C, you may speed up to pass the crossing quickly. Remember, you need to give pedestrians right of way. Approaching or pedestrians that are crossing, you need to give them a right of way. So number B is correct. Okay, next one. Which of the following makes a light motor vehicle illegal to drive on a public road? Number A, tires with worn threads below the legal minimum depth. Number B, tires with slight discoloration but no visible damage. Number C, tires with minor dirt or mud. Okay, before you guys can answer or attempt to answer, one, there's a requirement for tires. Number one, the tires need to be more than 1 millimeter deep, meaning the tire threads they need to be more than 1 millimeter deep. Anything below 1 millimeter deep, it makes those tires illegal. They're not allowed on a public road. 2, if your tires are dirty, but their threads are still legal, nothing's wrong with your tires. Oh no, my God, I'm giving you guys answers. Okay, let me continue. Again, the next one. If your tires have a slight discoloration, let's say maybe something touched them and they look reddish, but they're not damaged at all, they're still legal. So the only time when your tires are not legal is if they are more than 1 millimeter deep, the side walls are torn, and there's massive damage on the tire that makes the tire function the wrong way. So meaning the right answer is number A, since I already gave the answer. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one. What is the correct name of the road sign that displays destination names, directions, usually in a long rectangular shape, pointing towards routes or towns? It's this type of a sign. It looks like this. It has a pointy edge like this, and it was mostly is written in black and white. Is it called number A, directional indicator, number B, guide sign, number C, fingerboard? What is it called? Guys, remember when you're answering a question, you need to also look for keywords. Keywords here is this. What is the correct name of the road sign that displays destination names and directions, usually in a long rectangular shape, pointing towards routes or towns? Pointing. It's pointing. Remember, if I'm giving you direction, I don't have to point. I can just say go left, go right. But what can you point
Is
with?
it A?
Is what?
A, directional.
No, remember, I can give you directions without pointing. And I can guide you without pointing at anything. But the moment when I point, I'm using what to point?
You are
My
using your
finger.
finger.
Yes, it's a fingerboard. Because it's pointing. Remember, direction indicators and guide signs. They are just signs with a different message in the middle that guides you. But the moment when it points, it's a fingerboard. That's why it has this shape. The next one. Which of the following statements regarding the use of a communication device while driving on a public road is correct? Number A, a driver may use a communication device if the vehicle is stationary at the traffic light. A driver may use a communication device if the vehicle is stationary at a traffic light. You bought your loudspeaker and you scream at the driver, just stop him there. Number B, a driver may hold or use a communication device if it is used briefly and safely. Number C, a driver may use a communication device only if it is fitted to the vehicle or can be operated without holding it. Which one is correct?
C.
Why number C?
You are not you are not allowed to use your phone in the vehicle. Otherwise it causes distraction.
Yes, that's true. And then any other reason? Let me explain it. Number A, a driver may use a communication device if the vehicle is stationary at the red traffic light. New rules of the road that were implemented 2025. They are specific about the use of a phone. You are not allowed to use your phone if you're on a public road, meaning you cannot use it at a traffic light. You cannot use it at a stop sign. You cannot use it while the vehicle is moving. Number A is incorrect. Number B, a driver may hold and use a communication device if it is used briefly and safely. Remember, you are not allowed to use a phone or communication device at all. So number C, they're basically referring to a hands-free device. You are allowed to use that because it's hands-free and it's fitted to the vehicle. Next one. What does a rock falling warning sign indicate? Number A, loose stones may damage vehicle windscreens. Number B, rocks may fall onto the roadway from the side of a hill or mountain. Number C, the road surface ahead is uneven due to gravel. No, that is something. Okay, yes, which one is correct?
B.
Why number B?
Because the sign is showing that the rocks are falling from the side.
Very true. Very true. Number B is correct because this rock fall is showing you that the road that you're driving on each side there's a hill and there could be a chance of rock falling. So you should drive and be alert. Okay, so we're gonna pause the class here. So okay, for those of you guys that attended all the classes, so far we are done with all the modules. And then this month end, we're gonna be putting out a list, and then different people that feel that they're ready, they will enlist, and then they're gonna be booked to go right. So I'm also gonna book another class this week and next week, and we're only gonna be treating questions only, just to better prepare you guys. But with all the modules, we are done. So the next classes will only be treating questions, just to prepare you guys even more. And then month end, people are gonna go book, and then they're gonna write. So if you have any questions that you had, or even if you open a paper somewhere and then you bump into a question, take a picture of it and then send it to me. I'll answer it, or I'll tell you how to answer it. So the next class, we're treating questions. And then also for homework, practice your mock tests. Practice your different modules, meaning your road signs on the app. Your road signs, rules of the road, road markings, and also do mini preparation tests. But remember, if you really you want to test yourself, if you can pass your mock test 4 times, let's say you write your mock test Monday, you fail it. You write it Tuesday, you fail it. You write it Wednesday, you pass it. And then you write it Thursday, you fail it. Friday, you pass it. Next week, Monday, you pass it. Tuesday, you pass it. It's 4 times. You basically have an 80% chance of passing a test when you write it. So if you can pass your mock exam 4 times, definitely you're gonna pass your exam when you write it. Is there any questions?
Not from me.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, so if there's no questions, then I'm gonna end the class. Then I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna set another class where we'll only be doing questions. So if you have questions, even if it's on the app, If you have a question, take a screenshot of it, and then during the class, you can just send it to the group. Then we can be able to treat the question. Okay, so good night, and then I'll see you guys in the next class.
Good night.
Right?